Hey, it's Luke with another Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. You have a review today.
Yes, today is a product review for you
Awesome. What do you got?
and the dear listener audience.
Okay.
They can enjoy this as well. I will talk to you about the Edifier MS50A.
Okay.
That's a mouthful. It is a smart speaker or a wireless speaker.
Uh-huh.
And it's also a Bluetooth speaker.
Nice.
So you can have it kind of one or the other way.
Okay.
This is a cool looking speaker. It's kind of a cross between, I think back to like 80s and 90s where you would go to like that family member who had the really nice stereo system with the nice big wood grain.
Yeah.
The design. This isn't a big speaker. This is going to be something you could put on like a tabletop or desk, and it's going to have some of that aesthetic to it, but it's also going to feel a little bit modern.
Sure.
Three sides of it have a wood kind of texture,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the grill on the front of it, the mesh. It is about $150.
Okay.
So this is and I'll get to this at the end, but the price point I would say is justifiable.
Okay.
It's one of those speakers where if you want multiple speakers in your home, maybe you want to pair them on a Wi-Fi, like to connect multiple, this would be a great option for that.
Nice.
This is also a nice speaker that if you just want to pair Bluetooth to, and just kind of play off of, whatever it is on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
The trade-off for some of that, like if you did Wi-Fi, you can play music and you just have it, like your Spotify playing off of that.
Sure.
Where if you did Bluetooth, if you did Spotify off of your phone, but then you opened up a YouTube video and started watching that Bluetooth audio would still.
Right.
So if you go with the Wi-Fi setting here, it gives you the ability to say, hey, I just want to play that music, and then I can use my phone to kind of do the other things that I want to do. So this gives you that flexibility so that you can do both of those things.
Nice.
It's a rectangular kind of, I don't want to say, if you think of like a large roll of paper towel kind of thing that sits on your desk, that's about the footprint that it takes up.
Okay.
It's pretty fashionable,
Yeah.
Pretty modern looking design, but it also has this kind of like, oh yeah, I remember speakers like that growing up.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing for it. Seeing it is that nice mix of, like, you can definitely tell it's a speaker when you look at it, but it doesn't look necessarily like a smart speaker. It doesn't look like, it's very common now to see some sort of little disc or circular speaker thing sitting in somebody's house, and it's like, oh, that's a smart speaker. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
This seems a little bit more substantial, almost a little bit more like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, it's something that if you have it in a room, somebody's going to notice it, but it's not flashy.
Right. Somebody's
going to look over and go, oh, dude, is that a speaker?
Yeah.
What's that sound like? It looks pretty nice. Like, and it sounds just as nice.
Nice.
You have controls at the top of it. There's like a round, kind of like a circle disc kind of controls on there. So you've got the ability to pause and play your music, advanced tracks. And if you kind of put your finger on the perimeter and kind of like dial it clockwise or counterclockwise, that will adjust the volume on that.
Okay, nice.
It's a very nice sound for the size, and I would imagine that if you have two of these and you do like stereo sound or multiple throughout your house, this looks to me or feels to me like I hate to use the word budget approach, but it's a less expensive approach to say like Sonos.
Right.
It's that at $150 I could have 3 or 4 of these in my house, and if I have guests over or if I just want to have like some kind of like chill down tempo music playing over the weekend and I'm cleaning house, going from room to room, that sound will be everywhere I go.
Right.
I tried different genre of music, audiobooks, podcasts, and I've done classical music, progressive like Pink Floyd, EDM, all kinds of different styles. And I found that generally speaking, they all sound really nice.
Okay.
The lows are pretty substantial,
Yeah.
but not overpowering.
Nice.
Once in a while, I noticed that music might sound crowded, I guess, if that's a way to describe it. Sometimes you might feel like things are just kind of
getting a little muddy.
Yeah. But that was so few and far between.
Sure.
And I can't point to a particular volume level or anything that does that. And I think that comes down to engineering, the sound, and it might have even been the music sources.
Sure.
That really is how it's created. So I like this speaker quite a bit. I prefer Google Assistant.
Mm-hmm.
This has Alexa capability on it.
Okay.
But it doesn't have a microphone, and it doesn't have the ability to ask it to do Alexa things.
Okay.
You can play music through it. So ask Alexa, play such and such from your phone or the app or from another speaker, another device. You can do that.
You can say play on Edifier speaker.
Yes.
Sure.
So that is, for me, a feature that I don't necessarily use. I like I said, Google Assistant in my home.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa is one of those things where I'm all in on one ecosystem.
Right.
So I tend to not care whether or not it has it on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a feature that's being unused in my home.
Right.
However, for somebody who has that ecosystem and has like Echo Dots and displays and things throughout the home, this is a really cool speaker to kind of add to that.
Sure.
And it's its own design and aesthetic, but it doesn't. It kind of matches some of the other stuff that you see from other manufacturers doing.
Sure.
So I like switching back and forth between the Wi-Fi mode and the Bluetooth mode, depending on what I'm doing. But I would say generally, sound-wise, feature-wise, it's right in line with what my expectations were.
Nice.
Nothing that stuck out and said, wow, that's really good.
Sure.
Or, that kind of troubles me.
Sure.
Something like that. But I would say, when I scored it, I gave it 4s all the way across the board, except for build quality. I actually gave it a 4.5.
Okay.
Because that's, to me, the only thing that really stuck out is it's a nice intentional design. And like I said, somebody's going to notice it. You may have a conversation about it, and it might lead to a conversation about music or a book you've been listening to.
Sure.
It's that kind of a piece. But other than that, price-wise, warranty, sound, setup, all that stuff is just good. I mean, it's 4 out of 5. So total, this comes in at like a 4.1 rating. So that pushes it, on the way from good into really great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Edifier is a brand that I've had a chance to kind of see personally. I think a couple of years ago, I got to review some of their bookshelf speakers.
Yeah.
And I think we've had some earbuds come through here. A couple of guys have maybe reviewed those. So that's a brand that I'm always interested in.
Yeah.
I don't see something from them and think, I don't know if I want to mess with that or check it out. But I'm always kind of like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll definitely take a look at that. So yeah, this is the MS as in, I don't know, what do you want to put initials so people?
Much Sam.
Much Sam 50A
Apple.
Much Sam Apple. That's the Edifier MS50A.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.